Hello, welcome to another progress update. We are the group OOPweek2, and in our first week, we were able to make render buttons on screen with text, adding sprites for the obstacles, and start our work on game basics, in which we had a player which could move around and yeah, basically that. And we started working on collision detection. This week, we have completed the collision detection. The player moves all around the screen. Other than that, the buttons have turned into actual screens now. Like, we have different screens, and we can switch from one screen to another through clicking the buttons. And we have upgraded our obstacles with movement. Like, our obstacles can actually move from one place to another now. So yeah. And for this week's roadmap, we were supposed to do working game screens with functionality of player, and obstacles with movement functionality of buttons. We've pretty much done this, all of this as well this week, so I feel like we are on a good pace.
So my name is Abdullah Amir, and as in the past week, I made the header files, and I was signed with four screens to make, out of which I have made two screens, which are the control screen and the play screen. So these header files of both the play screen and the control screen are inherited from the main menu class, and then I made the playscreen.cpp, in which I made the render function which controls the pause button on the top right of the screen. And similarly, I made the control screen.cpp, which also has a render function as well as a constructor. So this constructor basically uh, gives you the option of the pause button, which either goes back or quits the screen. So that's the progress which I've made in this week.
Hello guys, this is Hamza Rizvi from Habib Ke Masail, and this will be my second video of the week of the progress. So basically, I had my work was to make the files in red here, which was of Node, SLS, and then we had an app obstacle factory, which will create an abstract class of obstacles from which three classes were in being inherited: walls, moving obstacles, and stationary objects, basically. So all of them have been implemented, and I have completed all the work. uh, the obstacles, moving obstacles, and I have also worked. I have also included the L texture to make my functions and smooth. Um, Node, SLS, wall, stationary object, all of them have been implemented. So basically, previously we were able to render the obstacles. So basically, we had a book previously, but then I have changed it. We have made the enemy, which with the obstacle would be a CSO or a police officer. So that's there. The walls are there. The trap is there in the green. The walls in the brown are there. So basically, of my of the classes which I was allotted have been worked upon. Previously, we could only render the obstacles, but now we are able to now move the obstacle, which is of the which is basically the CSO. So we'll be moving the obstacle. We'll comment out the things we don't need. Hmm. So I have implemented the movement function of the obstacle, and it will be moving along the x-axis. I have also worked on the vertical movement, but for now there it is not necessary. So this will be the to and fro movement of the obstacle, which will be rendered into the map. So if we want to have more of these, we will be just commenting out. the stuff here. There you go. And if we just cancel this out, it would be more obstacles moving. So yeah, this is the movement which I worked on, and this will be the to and fro movement which will be rendered into the screen, and we will give coordinates to it and of how this will be implemented and where the movement will be needed. I have also worked upon the vertical movement of the obstacle. So if the obstacle have to be moved or rendered in a vertical position in a new level, then we can show that as well. So that marks the end of the classes which I had to work on, and thus this completes my work. Thank you.
Salam guys, my name is Ammar Ahmed, and today I'll be showing you what I have worked on since our last video. In our last video, I showed you that I have worked quite a lot on our player, its movement, and a bit on the collision detection. So in this video, there haven't been much changes in the player, but there have been some changes in order to incorporate collision detection and changes in player's movement and its assigning sprite. And I'll just show you how what I have worked on our collision detection. So you see, there's an obstacle or a wall in the middle of the screen, and there is a rectangle around the player. Just so in order to just to show you how the collision detection is actually working. So, okay, if I move my player towards the wall, I the player's right side and the wall's left side are going to collide, and they do collide, and it doesn't allow the player to move to the right, even though I'm pressing the key continuously. But it does allow the player to move in other directions. It also works on sharp edges. It's happening here, still happening here, but if I just move one pixel up, it will allow me to move. Yeah, it happens on the top. The collision happens probably on the properly on the top. On the left, so what we had done some amount of collision detection, and we showed it in our last video. But there were some problems regarding players' movement. So when our player collided with any obstacle, it didn't allow it to move entirely, or even if it allowed it to move, it wasn't moving in accordance with the keys that are pressed. So that happens here. So it's moving. It isn't stopping it to move in any other direction. So that's how we have worked on the collision detection. And in our next video, I'll probably show you a more well finely constructed map with obstacles and walls and player interacting with them. But for this video, this is all I have, and I've worked on collision detection, and I think it's all about complete now. So thank you, Khudafiz. See you in the next video.
Hi, this is Vase, and for this week's progress, I have basically compiled the game, and now we can switch from one screen to another. For that, I have created different pool flags in my main function, which you can see here. No, here. You can see them here that we have a main play screen, control screen, bool flag, and now we use them to render uh, different screens accordingly. So when you run the game, this is the splash screen, and now you have the main menu. And now if you click on start, then you can move to the game play screen, and then if you go from click on pause, so you can go to the control screen, and here from here we can go back and or quit. So here you also see that the obstacles with movements are here, and stationary objects like walls are also here. So we are done with that too, and then we can quit the game from here. That's that's about it for this week. And for next week, we are targeting to at least complete one level of gameplay. So we'll be working on the map class first, and then the game class, and we'll probably, inshallah, get done with that, and we'll have one level of gameplay, and then we'll only have to create multiple levels using IO stream and loading the game from a file, uh, setting the map basically using a file. So that's about it, guys. Thank you.